When councils open with the Lord's Prayer, or any prayer for that matter, they're excluding non-Christians. Governing bodies such as municipalities have the mandate to accommodate all residents.
It's true, isn't it? Because I wasn't raised as a Christian, and if ever I heard a Christian prayer, I began to weep, a lot of vomiting, my head span around, green slime. It's just, sorry. Oh, give me a break. Give me a break here. So there's a Christian prayer, and that is so offensive to so many people. Get used to it. There's another case before the Supreme Court now of people who have said that Christian prayer before a council meeting is awful, and I thought, who should we get in to discuss this? Charles McVitie from Canada Christian College? He's rubbish. No, he's very good. And he's here right now. Charles, okay, let me be devil's advocate. This case in particular, I don't think is the issue. The greater issue is prayer, Christian prayer before council meetings and parliamentary assemblies.
Yeah.
Prayer is incredibly important. Worship of God, love of God, of Christ.
Sure.
Very important. Politicians mouthing the words, not believing them, making it cosmetic, it's just flummery, they're doing it for effect. I think that's rather insulting in a way.
No, I don't think it's insulting, because what it is a recognition of the history of Canada. And you cannot look at this nation without looking at the heritage, the Christian heritage. In fact, this particular case is in Quebec. And if you read the lyrics of the Canadian national anthem, the French translated into English, it's about bearing the cross and the valor of faith. You cannot remove Christianity from Quebec's heritage.
But you're an evangelical. Let me ask you this. Supreme Court of Canada, today the hearings begin. So a Catholic prayer, prayer
sure.
before City Hall meetings in the Saguenay. As an evangelical, would you be comfortable with that?
Absolutely, because Quebec has a Catholic history. It does not have an evangelical history. Canada has a Christian history overall, with our Charter of Rights and Freedoms that begins with the words that say that Canada was founded upon the principles that recognize the supremacy of God. That's an
God, not Christ.
But that is a fact. It's an historical fact.
Times are changing.
And it's Christ,
people are changing. Canada is changing.
But you can't change history.
Well,
if you change,
no, of course not. But history is history.
The heritage. If you change the foundation upon which the government is founded upon, then you change the essence of the nation.
The history is what it is, and the heritage is what it
Sure.
is. I understand all of that, and I would certainly defend someone's right to be a Christian, absolutely, including mine. But I see these prayers taking place in this country and other countries, and you know some of the people there, they don't believe anything, and they're standing, and maybe they'll open their mouth. I find that more problematic than not having the prayer there at all.
No, I don't, because it is recognizing what they're about to do is founded upon the basic principles of Christianity, which is love your neighbor. That's why we have such a great country. We don't have a secular country like the Soviet Union that was based on
India?
secularism.
What about India?
Well, India has its own heritage.
Yeah,
and you don't
it's a wonderful country.
But you
Charles,
don't erase
it's not Christian.
everything. Of course it is.
A loving, gentle country.
So would I say
Israel?
So would I say erase all
No, but
Judaism? Would I say erase all?
You just
am
said
I offended by that?
You said
No.
the reason we have a great country is because of the Christian foundation. Well, I think to an extent that's true. But I believe that as we have evolved and changed as a nation, we no longer have to have a Christian prayer. A Christian prayer before... Okay, let me put this to you.
But
we're knowing your views.
no,
a Christian prayer before a parliament votes to say marriage can be the union of two men and two women. How do you feel about that?
Well, of course, it's hypocrisy. But
is it?
Yeah, yes, but
before a country votes to say abortion at any time with full funding, you're okay with that Christian prayer before?
And it violates what they're actually doing. Because what they're actually doing
is my argument, not yours.
No. They're going against the heritage of this nation, the foundation of our laws, our Charter of Rights and Freedoms that guarantees freedom of religion.
Charles,
not freedom from religion, but of religion.
A parliament that begins with a prayer, a Christian prayer, and then says it should be the right of every woman to abort her baby whenever she wants. Do you think there may be an inherent problem with what's going on?
Well, there is a problem, and that's why
They don't believe in the prayer.
the prayer needs to be there, because it's recognizing the history of our country, that recognizes the value of every single person's life. And then when the Parliament does something contrary to those values, what are Canadian values? They're not Soviet values, they're not secular values. Well, they are Christian values.
Let's not bring the Soviet Union into this. We're a civilized and progressive and liberal country.
But you're not catching my point, Michael. You cannot have a country founded upon principles that don't recognize the heritage that the country is based upon.
I don't see why.
Because, well, just try it.
Do you believe in a separation of church and state?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't. I believe
you believe in a theocracy?
No, I don't. I believe that the church has a right to be part of the state, but the state does not have a right to be part of the church.
You're an evangelical. You're a nonconformist. Your people left Britain because of the established church.
Listen to what I said. The state has no right to be part of the church, but that doesn't mean the church doesn't have a right to be part of the state, to be part of democracy, to be part of leadership. Yeah, well, that's
what's that got to do with prayer before a meeting?
Because that's what separation of church and state has really begun to mean, because of this distortion of the clause in the U.S. Constitution that says nothing about this. All it says is that the state has no business in the church, but the church is a viable member of society.
I think
so is every other group of faith.
Okay.
But recognize.
How about a Muslim prayer before?
No, if you.
Why not?
Because this country was not founded upon Muslim
You keep
principles.
saying founded on. The majority of people. Hold on. The majority. A lot of these councils, the majority of people there are not Christian.
It doesn't matter.
But you still want a Christian prayer?
Yes, because
why?
Because government is all about tradition.
It's not.
It is. I'm sorry, but if
tradition
you go to
is part of government.
No, if you go to Parliament, it's not governed by rules and regulations that are strict and their laws. It is the tradition. The tradition is heritage. That is, and you separate the tradition and the heritage. What do you have? You have anything goes, and therefore you have
I think there's a bit of hyperbole here, isn't there? I mean, it's not anything goes. All we're saying is, if the majority, if there are 25 councillors and 20 of them are not Christian, it seems a bit strange to have a Christian prayer, and most of the people saying that Christian prayer don't believe in it. I think that is sacrilege.
Well, it may be that each individual has an issue of whether or not they believe what they're saying.
What about a time for reflection? When you can have your prayer of your own faith in that time?
No, because you can't go to Parliament and chisel out all the scriptures that are in the stone, literally chiseled in stone. You can't remove it. You can't. But right. Michael, if you remove our heritage,
Charles,
you remove
I will pray for you. I will pray for you, Charles.
And I'll pray,
Thank you very much.
And I'll pray for our